Welcome to today's UNIgreen podcast, Building a Better Future, Voice of Change. The theme of the day is Becoming a Researcher, 2 Perspectives, 1 Passion. I'm your host, Julien Grimaud, and I'm excited to be joined by Weronika Jabłońska and Frank Yates, who will share their unique experiences and insights into what it takes to pursue a career in research. Whether you're just starting out or curious about different paths in the field, this conversation is for you. Let me introduce our guests. Weronika Jabłońska, you are a biotechnology graduate from Warsaw University of Life Sciences, currently pursuing a second master's degree in management at WSB Merito University, Poland, as well as completing a research internship at SupBiotech, where we are currently recording this podcast in France. You are also a recent PhD student at University of Silesia, am I pronouncing it correctly?
Silesia.
Silesia, yes, as you said, in Poland. Your academic background includes microbiology, animal genetics, and molecular science. And you're also a member of the Polish Accreditation Committee, through which you contribute to quality assurance in higher education.
Yes, that's me. Thank you. Thank you very much, and hello to everyone.
Hello and welcome. Frank Yates, you are an assistant professor and the director of research at SupBiotech. You are the principal investigator of CellTechs, a joint research team of SupBiotech and the French Commissariat à l'énergie atomique et aux énergies renouvelables, CEA in short. Your research focuses on neurodegenerative diseases using stem cell engineering to model disease mechanisms and explore therapeutic strategies.
Hello, I'm glad to be here to discuss research.
Thank you. Welcome. As of your host, I'm Julien Grimaud, assistant professor at SupBiotech and a member of Frank's CellTechs team. I'm also a member of UNIgreen's quality committee. All right, let's start with a little icebreaker, shall we? If your research was a movie genre, what would it be and why? Who wants to go first? Frank, maybe?
Yeah, well, I'm not going to be very original. I think it would be science fiction. Because I am older, I think science fiction has really made an important aspect in the way that I see science. Many things that were deemed impossible a few years back are now possible and even available. And that's really something which explains why I'm such a fan of science fiction.
Well, thank you for this answer, and don't be too harsh on yourself. You are not that old. Weronika, same question for you. If your research was a movie genre, what would it be?
Okay, so I will not be also original, and maybe I'm not too old, but yeah, still I will choose the science fiction part, but with a bit of drama, action, and maybe something with a chaotic end of the world. I'm in love with Star Wars, so maybe I would name it Last Hope, but the microbial edition, due to my recently research. So focusing, for example, on environmental research and the pollution in our world, it's important to see how the works should be recovered from that, and that would be this superhero, this maniac scientific guy in the science fiction movie that would maybe recover the world from pollution.
Well, I'm glad that none of you said a horror movie, so we can move on. I would like to first discuss the origins of your motivations to becoming a researcher. Weronika, what first sparked your interest in research?
So that's a tough question, to be honest, but maybe it would not be original one, but I was just in love with animals, and since I was a kid, I had 2 cats named Lunin and Munin. That I knew that the future depends on them. My future depends on them, and their future depends on me. So I wanted to do anything that is possible to help them with, for curing them, for living a long life. So I just supposed to choose the path of biology first. And to be honest, in high school, I wasn't even thinking about becoming a researcher. So I was far away from that, and I was thinking like it's not my path or something. Even I didn't like to study a lot. So basically, the Warsaw University of Life Sciences shows me how the researcher can you really become with the studies. And that's how it happened. Like I was trying to find my way for researching. Firstly, it was of course based on animal protection and animals science, but then it evolved in different paths. And now I'm here. So
we're glad that you're here.
That is what sparked me.
Well, thank you for this answer. Frank, same question for you. Did you always know that you wanted to become a researcher?
I think a lot of jobs would have corresponded to my interests. When I was young, I was always asking questions to myself, to others, and I feel that the job of a researcher is to always ask questions and even sometimes find some answers. And so I think that corresponds very well to my interests. But many other fields would have corresponded to my curiosity. Maybe journalist, writer, of course, teacher. But now, at this point in my career, I can say that being a researcher is a full-time job, but it contains a bit of all the other jobs, and so it's really fascinating.
Well, asking many questions, finding some answers, that sounds a lot like doing research. Weronika, you have engaged in a PhD program recently, so you are probably going to do research in the future, but where do you see yourself in, let's say, 10 years from now?
In 10 years, honestly, I don't know. It's the simple answer. I don't know. And it's the most exciting part of it. I mean, during these 5 years of studying, I ensured myself that there's no way to predict what you will be doing in even 3 years or what even like 10 years. That's crazy to even thinking about it. So I would say I would like to stay close to the science. Hopefully holding a PhD in my hands, but I'm not close to just a lab bench or something like that. I would try to reach as much possibilities as I can during this journey with PhD, and after that always, of course. So maybe something with R&D sector, or maybe something on my own. I would like also to have that impact on the science world of just from myself. So maybe trying something on my own would be also a good opportunity. We will see.
And the good thing is that you are just starting your journey, so you still have time to figure it out.
Exactly.
So now let's move on to your research journey. Maybe Weronika first, what would be the most exciting or maybe the hardest part of your research journey so far?
So my research journey started long before the PhD. It started during my first research on my own during the bachelor studies, when I was contributing the studies, thankfully, to the Department of Animal Breeding. And then I decided that this is my path. So the hardest part of it was doing it on my own, to be honest. And this uncertainty, is it going to work, or what if I failed, or something like that. But the most exciting thing is also this uncertainty and the part of insight, when you are seeing that your actually work is seeing somewhere else, and someone else can also appreciate that work that you're doing. So this is the most exciting part, I would say.
Yeah. And Frank, I guess you're a bit more seasoned than Weronika, if you allow me. So how has the research environment changed since you started your research path?
So, contrary to the appearances, I wasn't there a few hundred years ago.
Oh, really?
But it's interesting to see science in a historical perspective. I feel like since Descartes and when he devised the scientific methodology and others before him and after him, I think what is really important to keep in mind is that science is a methodology. It's a way to ask questions and it's a way to answer questions. And that has not changed. When, as I said, 100 years ago, 20 years ago, or now, it is still the same scientific methodology. Now, obviously, these past 20 years, we've seen many innovations in the field of biotechnology, notably, but in many other fields. And that has really transformed the landscape of research. Not necessarily exactly how we do it, the methodology is the same, but the tools that we have to use. If you imagine the first scientists, I was talking about Descartes, but it's true for Newton and others, they were full scientists. They knew physics, they knew philosophy, they knew geology. Nowadays, thanks to them, we know so much more, but we cannot be experts in all these fields. So necessarily when you choose a career in science, you have to specialize, and you choose or you discover by randomly a field. That makes you a specialist in a field, but it forces you to work in an interdisciplinary fashion and to work with your colleagues, researchers who have the same way of working, but work in other fields, in physics, in ethics, in many other fields. And I think that's really fascinating. And what happened these 20 past years is that we got more and more specialized. And so it forces us to really talk with our colleagues, scientists, and to discover other fields that I didn't know about.
Well, you mentioned randomness, which brings me to my next question. I was wondering how you both deal with failure or uncertainty in research. Who wants to answer first?
Yeah, maybe I can start. So it was hard at the beginning, but I've learned that the failure is an like an integral part of science. That's for sure. I mean, all of the great brains are making a lot of mistakes, and after that mistakes, you can finally find the way to to really develop something and to find a way for that. So I'm not tough for myself. If I'm doing a mistake or it's a failure of some experiments, I'm like taking a deep breath and I'm like, okay, nothing happened. Like, we will reschedule that. And I think this is the most important part for younger also students, that they don't need to stress, and also for PhD students, because I think it's the most stressful time of your career. Most people says that. So yeah, I'm dealing with just taking that from myself and saying nothing happened. That is an answer. Yeah, I mean, there's nothing to worry about. You still have time for a different failures, of course, and the great things needs to come with a longer journey.
Your approach sounds like a healthy approach to failure in research.
Yeah. Maybe I need to think about it in my head previously, but now it's totally better that I was dealing with it like 2 years ago, for example. So now it is a healthier way, for sure.
Frank, same question. How do you deal with failure?
So I will let you judge if my vision is healthy or not. I think you learn by failure, and failure is necessary to learn, especially in research. And I think if you haven't failed, it's probably that you haven't tried hard enough. And this is really, as you said, Weronika, difficult to understand, to comprehend, because we don't like to fail. We want successes. And sometimes I tell my colleagues that because sometimes we have great success in our research, and I'm happy for me, I'm happy for them, happy for the lab. But I tell them, don't be too happy, because I don't want you to be too happy when things work, and I don't want you to be too sad when things don't work. Now, obviously, we need some enticement for our research, but it's really important to keep in mind that what guides us is the methodology, how we do things, and if we find things on the way, that's great, but if we don't find, doesn't matter. What's important is the path that you have chosen.
Don't be too happy. I'm going to remember that. Thank you, Frank. I would like to move on to the next section of these podcasts, which is about mentorship and how you give advice to others. I have a question for both of you, and whoever wants to answer first can take the mic. What makes a good mentor-mentee relationship according to you?
Maybe I can start. Like for me, the good mentor is someone who are not giving you all the answers, but giving you the perspective to ask better questions and find a better answer for future. I would say it's someone who is supportive and who understands your mistakes that we were talking about previously also. But also the one that makes you confident in what you're doing. And thankfully, I was working with all of the mentors that were supportive, and I was feeling confident with them. And thanks to that, the researchers were developed. But also, I founded the places that I wasn't feeling so well. And the advice here is that if it's not good enough for you in this one place, you just need to skip this level and go to other place when you are feeling comfortable. And that's the best part of choosing your career path. I mean, choosing a good mentor will be your future, to be honest. And also, it's the same with mentee. I mean, it's a both ways relationship. The mentee should be also, concerned on what he's doing and engage in that field. So if he's not interested in the thing that you're doing, this relationship won't work. And also, maybe I have a bit of experience in that because I was also a president of a student association in Warsaw University of Life Sciences. That the association that was focused on animal laboratory animals and experimental ones. So I was leader of I think 20 person group. So kisses to my friends from SGGW.
Hi to your friends.
Yeah. So I think it's not about also the hierarchy in this relationship. I mean, the mentor should be the person who wants the other person to shine in that field that they are pursuing. I mean, this is a very important part of the relationship here.
Frank, I guess you have mentored a few students and colleagues in your lab as the head of CellTechs. Do you agree with Weronika's views?
Yes, thank you, Weronika, because I think it's a very detailed view, and it's really difficult to explain and understand what this relationship can be between a mentor and a mentee. I feel it's a very personal question because everyone has his own way of dealing with mentorship. When I was a mentee, I relied on my mentor to answer some questions I maybe had, but when I think about it, I think I wanted a guide for the future, for the long term. Because when you're working in the lab, you're working on a very precise subject, and I find that the when you listen to your mentor, the head of the lab, explain how your work fits in a larger perspective and to have a vision of the future in 1 year, 10 years, that really gives you a kick to really understand why you're doing what you're doing in the lab every day. So I think that the key important thing in the mentorship is to try and maintain a focus on a name. It can be a name in 5 years, 10 years, something that is feasible but is sufficiently far away that we can still dream a little about it.
Interesting. And now I'm going to ask you guys to be the mentors of your younger self. What would be one piece of advice that you would give to your younger self? Weronika, maybe? Let's say you meet your younger self from junior high or high school.
Yeah. From high school. Oh my God.
Long time ago?
Long
Not that
time.
long.
Maybe it's not so long time ago, but still long. To this younger Weronika, I would say be who you are. Like nothing. Don't change anything. I mean this high school one. I would say don't rush the process. Don't stress too much. It will come to you. These all of opportunities, and to be honest. Just keep the people that you really trust in yourself, because people are very important in your life, and they will be very important in your life. And if you're not feeling comfortable in some relationships, like just give up on them. And the same one is for the girl from that was starting the university. Also, I would say the same. Just be fearless and take the opportunities. And don't rush the process, because process will come instead. Like the years will come, and you just need to believe in yourself.
Thank you. I'm turning to Frank. Let's say you meet your younger self.
Yes.
What would you tell them?
So, I think there's something to accept when you're envisaging your professional life, is that there's a lot of randomness. We talked a lot about randomness during this discussion. And you have to accept that opportunities come, they will come if you work hard, and you have to seize the opportunity when they come. But these opportunities do not necessarily come, and they don't necessarily come when you want them, when you need them. And this is just a fact of life. You just need to be ready to seize the opportunity when it comes. And it can be a bit stressful, because you can say, oh, okay, I'm at this point in my life. What am I going to do in the next 2 years? Well, you have to keep open to opportunities, accept the fact that maybe you're not going to do the job, work in the lab that you were dreaming of, but things will always work out at the end if you work hard and you keep yourself happy during all this time. And there's always a good reason to be happy, to discover things. So I would say do not plan too much. Of course, you need a plan, but accept the stochasticity of life. That's what makes life really great.
All right, let's move on to the next section of this podcast, Science in Society. Weronika, you are a member of the Polish Accreditation Committee. Can you tell us more about your missions in this committee?
Yes, so the Polish Accreditation Committee, I actually participate in evaluation of study programs in Polish university all across the Poland. I mean, we were searching like does the study program are really is according to what they are supposed to be. In a short summary, we can say. Also, my role in that membership was checking the students' perspective. I mean, is the rights of the students are being prescribed, or maybe is there any opportunities for the student that they can really use during that long journey when they are into this university, and how about also the financial stuff of the university. So basically it's all about the quality of the studies in Poland.
Well, it sounds like you are still playing a key role in this bridge between researchers and society. So according to you, what role should researchers play in public life?
So I think in public life they are very important. I mean, they are crucial in developing a future word, but some people are not aware of it too much. So I think now the role of researchers is to be visible, to be this bridge between people that are not finding the science like their cup of tea, or are not believing in that, and there must be a reason that they are not believing in that. And thanks to that, we should be out of course lab, out of the computer stuff and everything. We should be out and just publishing our work in a different ways, so the ordinary people will know that research and researchers are really important in their life, and their impact is crucial for their future selves and future world, to be honest. So I think our mission is to go out and talk about research more and more, and in the nice way. I mean, the way that every person could understand this kind of research. Why is it important? Why should we focus on it? And what is the impact of the research? Because to be honest, right now I even struggle with communicating with some people because they don't believe in research, they don't believe in science, or there's too much different information on the media they are now prescribing that it's very important for us, and also for whole science society and whole government, I would say, to make that important.
Going outside of the lab and taking your
Exactly.
research to the general public, that's a key element. Yes. Which is not always easy. Frank, you work on stem cells, which has been a pretty hot topic both in labs and in society for now decades. What is your view on research accessibility to the general public?
Well, stem cells, there's a lot of excitement around this subject, and there's a lot of controversies. I actually have a whole section of my course on stem cells dedicated to all the controversies that have happened these past 20 years in the field. These controversies on stem cells are mainly due to the fact that some people, some companies use the term very liberally, without the scientific rigor that you should have when you engage in any scientific topic. Some companies will sell you stem cells, even if it's forbidden, doesn't matter. They will find countries that will sell you stem cells, promising you that they will treat a condition, they will improve your disease, etc. And this is really a problem for us scientists, because sometimes I'm contacted by patients who write to me saying, "Oh, I read about the excitement in stem cells, can you help me?" And of course I cannot help him. Well, I'm doing basic research. What I'm doing right now in the lab with my team, I hope will be useful, but only in 20, 30 years' time. We are not working on the medications. The medications of today are coming from research from a long time ago. In that much, I think patient associations do really an important job. And I really want to thank them for the job that they do. They really put the information in the hands of the patients who need it. They very often help us do research by paying for some of the research that we do in our labs. And they really help us have this link between the scientific labs and the community by helping us explain. But it's really difficult to explain to the general community, to the layman, what we do in research, because we are working on the long term. And obviously, I mean, as a human being, I like to know what is going to happen tomorrow. I'm less interested in what's going to happen in 20 years' time. So it's really important to have associations that can do this link. It's really important to have journalists who can have an overview of the situation and give the different aspects. And it's a mix of all this that makes scientific communication so interesting, but also so difficult.
I like how you highlight the role of our allies in transferring research from the lab to the general public, like the patient associations, the journalists, and other media. Yeah.
Exactly. I think you are right. They are allies. They are people who we work with, and they help everyone understand and see what science is.
Thank you so much. Now it's time to slowly but surely go up to our closing part of this podcast. And I have a few more questions for you. I have first a small exercise, let's say quick fire. I'm going to give you a phrase that I want to get a very quick answer from you, like one or a few words. Let's start with maybe Weronika. Favorite science discovery?
Oh, favorite science is discovery. Let's say Gregor Mendel, laws on inheritance. I would be like not original one again.
Safe choice.
Yes, the safe choice it is. Yeah, I think because it's like the basically everything we needed to know to go further with the genetic aspects, and that's crazy how like in these days, this monk is the name, he just saw some patterns with this piece. It's like, for me, that's the most crazy one. And of course, if I need to go with a recent one, I would stay with artificial intelligence, because I'm totally not into the informatics or like the coding, the information on everything like related to that. So for me, that's a black magic, to be honest. Even though like I can like think of myself like a research person, of course in this like a young path, but still it's black magic for me. And maybe it is a danger one discovery, but still I'm thinking that it can revolve the whole world, and that should discovery be about.
Well, favorite scientific discovery, black magic. Thank you so much.
Black magic, exactly.
Frank, quickly, are you going to be more original?
I'm not going to be very original because I'm going to talk about stem cells again. My favorite scientific discovery, the one that I always go back to, is in 1981 when Evans and Kaufman discovered the pluripotent stem cells. They took an embryo of a mouse and they discovered very few cells that they could expand and self-renew and differentiate. And these cells had the capacity to become any cell. They could even become new mice. And it opened the whole field of science to genetically modified mice and to many other discoveries. It led to 1998 the discovery of human embryonic stem cells that were the human counterpart of pluripotent stem cells. And there you could have cells in a dish that could become brain, they could become liver, they could become heart. You can dream about it. Okay, well, this maybe we can treat diseases with that. Then came CRISPR, where you could modify the cells. Then came reprogramming, where you could make pluripotent stem cells by using a few genetic factors. So everything accelerated from this very first discovery. And I'm really grateful that these few researchers in the UK described these cells at the time, which became a huge field and a huge potential for the future.
Very different answers, and yet two very interesting answers. Next, quick fire. One tool or habit you cannot work without. Weronika?
For me, it would be my notebook.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe a lot of notebooks, because
Okay.
I think I'm still a traditionalist, and I prefer paper than computer. and every thoughts or every patterns or every memories are in my lab notebooks and the theoretical notebooks. So I would say the habit is also writing everything on paper, and the tool is my notebook. So it's a bit chaotic, of course. It's with all of the thoughts, and sometimes no one can understand what is inside, but just me. And sometimes even I can understand what is inside, but I think, this is my favorite one.
Just to say, you are not alone. I also have lots of notebooks.
Okay, that's great to hear. That's great to hear.
Frank, one tool or habit that you cannot work without?
Well, I think as a scientist, I want to insist on the importance of what we call databases, where we structure the data, which is in the notebooks that we talked about, but when you have to convey the information to your colleagues, to your other scientists, you have to do it in a very ordered and organized way. And this is what databases are about. And I feel like they are sometimes taken like things for informaticians, but there's so much information in there, and it's organized and it's accessible to everyone. And of course, we have a very popular database as biology graduates, which is PubMed, which is a database of scientific articles. But there are many other databases that classify genes, classify chemical compounds, and all in a very organized way, deposited by scientists. And when I think about it, I think this is a tool which really guides me, because as soon as I have a question, I go and see if part of the answer is not already classified in one of these databases.
I'm actually quite surprised that none of you mentioned coffee addiction as your one habit.
This is a habit that many researchers have. And of course, you cannot organize a scientific conference without coffee.
Without free coffee.
Free coffee. Of course.
For me, it's Red Bull, but
Oh, new generation.
Yeah, the new generation, we can say. But coffee also, I like coffee also. But Red Bull is working better on me.
Okay.
Unfortunately.
One word to describe your research. Weronika, one word to describe your research?
Let's say transformative. Yeah.
Why would it be this word?
I think based on what I've done to this day, I mean also the genetics of animals, the nanoparticle part of my research, and now the environmental part, all of them are going to transform something in the future, and now it's happening also, the transformative way for that. For example, nanoparticles even now can fight some antibiotic resistance that the research are conducted based on the nanoparticle antimicrobial way. For example, the disease is based on microbes in different breeds of animals, and for example the pollution also that I will be doing right now in my PhD program, it's also like transformative, because we are trying to find a way to maybe kill the wrong ones, and the wrong ones in environment, and help the good ones in the environment. I mean by toxicology also, assets and everything like that related to it. So transformative, let's say.
Interesting. Frank, what would be your one word to describe your research?
I would say innovation.
Innovation?
Yeah.
Why would it be so?
I'm always very interested by the way that new discoveries come and help you answer questions. And of course, the work that we do is also part of innovation. And I feel like this is something which really guides us for what we are doing currently and what we will do in the future. And you have to keep an eye on innovation. You talked about artificial intelligence. Of course, there's a lot of innovation in this field. It can be a bit scary. It can look like a black box. For me, it was really a way to finally understand, after all these years, why I learned matrices in mathematics so many years ago. I had no idea. And now I have a concrete product that is uniquely done with huge matrices. And it was so hard for me when I was 20 years old to understand what a multi-dimensional matrix was and why on earth would I be interested in that. And now I can see that finally there is a very interesting way to use that. And I think that's really fascinating.
Well, at last your maths classes were useful.
Exactly.
All right, thank you. And maybe final thoughts. What keeps you excited about science every day?
For me, I would say it's just my path. It's just the kind of work that I, like Frank also mentioned earlier, it's just a full-time job. This has excited me the most. It's just my path. I'm feeling myself in that kind of what I'm doing, and I cannot think about anything else what I should be doing every day than science, to be honest. And that keeps me excited. Just an honest answer for that question. So
joy and will sounds like good fuels. Yeah. Frank, what keeps you excited about science every day?
I think it's the potential. There's always a potential discovery, a potential question. Potential is everywhere, and potential is especially in the younger students who come to my lab to work with us, and I see so much potential there. Of course, they have to learn. They usually know so much more than me about many things, and this potential, once it's driven for a good reason, and scientific research is a very good reason, is such an exciting thing to be looked at and to be furthered.
Well, thank you both. Thank you so much, Weronika and Frank, for sharing your unique journeys and insights on becoming researchers. And to our listeners, thank you for joining us today. We hope their stories inspired you as much as they inspired us. Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep that passion for research alive. Thank you.
Thank you.
thank you.